He was one of the best all around athletes of the 20th century and possibly the best of the 1980s. He was undefeated for an entire 9 years and during that time won two Olympic gold medals and broke the world record for his event 4 times. And though more than 40 years have passed since setting that final record, it still stands as the British national record. But what makes these feats so impressive is that they aren't just from one event. They're for the decathlon, which is a culmination of 10 track and field competitions over a 2 day period. Today is Wednesday, July 30th, 2025, and on this day in 1958, champion decathlete Daley Thompson was born in Notting Hill, London. First, I'll give y'all a quick overview of Thompson's beginnings and his dominance in the decathlon through the 1980s, and then we'll sit down for a conversation with Daley Thompson himself. I'm your host, Running Up That Hillary, and you are listening to Today in Running History. Frances Morgan Ayodele Thompson was born 67 years ago today in London to a British Nigerian father and a Scottish mother. The nickname Daley comes from part of his second middle name, Ayodele, which means joy comes home. Thompson originally wanted to play soccer, but was drawn to the individualistic aspect of track events. He eventually returned home to London and joined the Essex Beagles Athletic Club, first training as a sprinter and soon adding in shot put and high jump. Then in 1975, when Thompson was 18, his coach came to him with a problem. The next day, they were supposed to be going to a track meet in Wales, but one of the decathletes was out sick. Although Thompson had never tried 6 of the 10 events, his coach convinced him to give it a shot. The decathlon is held over the course of 2 days, and by the end of the first one, Daley Thompson knew he had found his sport. It didn't take long for Thompson to go from someone who had never even held a javelin to the single best decathlete in the world. He spent the remainder of the 70s winning national titles, and by the time he prepared to travel to Moscow for the 1980 Olympics, Daley Thompson was ready to take on the world. Now, let's talk a second about the scoring system for the decathlon because it is incredibly confusing for those of us who are only used to individual running, jumping, or throwing events. Basically, your time in the running events, length in the throwing events and long jump, and your height in the pole vault and high jump equate to a certain number of points, and then those points are all added up, and the decathlete with the highest score wins. The idea of the event and scoring table is to determine the best overall and most versatile athlete. If someone is the absolute best in sprinting and jumping, but they suck at middle distance and throwing, they would not be as good of a decathlete as someone who was pretty decent in all of those categories. The scoring table is really, really confusing, but basically they end up with a total score out of 10,669 points. So just 1 month before the Moscow Olympics in 1980, Thompson set his first world record in the decathlon with a score of 8,648 points. The next month, he won his first Olympic gold medal. In 1982, he elevated his own world record to 8,774 points, and in 1983, he won the first ever World Championships. At the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles, Daley Thompson won his second gold medal and broke his own world record once again with a score of 8,847. To this day, his performance at the 1984 Olympics remains the British national record in the decathlon. Now, I think that was more than enough of me talking, so let's go ahead and welcome Daley Thompson to Today in Running History. All right, I am with Daley Thompson. Thank you so much for joining Today in Running History. How are you?
Yeah, I'm having a lovely day, and actually, I've been looking forward to this.
Awesome. I am so excited that we got to have you on. Now, tell us a little bit about your background before you got into the decathlon, because obviously you don't go into
No,
athletics just wanting to do every single event and be good at every single one.
well, be average at everyone. Some people will tell you, but no, I was like most people in Great Britain. The only time you do athletics is in the summertime, and I used to do sprints and a little bit of long jump, and I was reasonable enough to make our national schools championships in the 200 meters. And I was just lucky one day. My coach came up to me and said, you know, we need somebody to go to a team decathlon because we've got three guys and we need four. And so yeah, it was pure luck. So yeah, I started off as a sprinter.
Wow. And so that first one, had you ever pole vaulted? Had you ever thrown a javelin? Like
Well,
what did that look like?
that was one of the things I said to Bob, my coach. I said, Bob, I haven't done seven of the things. And he said, look, you got 4 or 5 weeks, and it doesn't matter if you don't complete the whole thing. All you've got to do is start, and then the team can carry on and win the championship. So I took those 4 or 5 weeks and trained reasonably hard, had a brilliant time learning all the skills, and then just carried on with it.
That is so cool. Now, which of the 10 events would you say was your strongest and which was your favorite?
Um, my strongest is probably my long jump, and my favorite is winning.
Which, yeah, so just cumulative, all of them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, people do ask me this question, and the thing about it is that there's nothing else in athletics that I can be the best at.
Yeah,
I can only be the best at the 10 thing.
yeah.
And so that's I mean, I love that. I love that. You know, the hundred's great and the pole vault's fun and all that. But the one thing that I can beat everybody at, or used to be able to, is the decathlon. So that's what I love, really.
Yeah. And it's cool. Yeah. And you're right. There's not really a different kind of, medley of different events. So it's a unique event and it's very cool. What was your least favorite of the events?
One of the first things that my coach taught me was that he had an old saying that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And I asked him, "What does that mean? What does that mean, Bob? I have no idea." And he said to me that you will, if you're going to make any mistakes, or if you're going to feel the pressure, it's going to be in the things that you either don't like or don't practice. So he told me to learn to like everything, and I do. Even though I wasn't particularly good at the hurdles or the discus, I love doing it. Even if it's just a challenge to myself to be better than I was yesterday.
That's great. That's a good way to approach all of it, especially because myself and so many people listening to this podcast are not elite athletes. And so that can kind of be applied to all of us. Just,
Yeah. Well, I think it's a lot of it is just about mindset. If you don't set your sights too high, if you do a reasonable amount of work with a following wind, you'll be a little faster. It might be a minute, 2 minutes, or whatever. You never know. But if you put the time in, then everybody will improve somewhere at whatever it is they want to do.
I love that. And it's so true. Starting point might be different, but everybody can get better.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. Now, you were undefeated for a full 9 years.
Yeah.
So there were obviously quite a few track meets in there and a lot of winning. What stands out as the most memorable of all of the track meets or competitions?
Again, I look at it slightly different to a lot of people, and I look at it as there are a lot of people out there who are capable. Well, there's a few people out there who are capable of world records and winning gold medals and all that kind of stuff. And so, you might get lucky one day and it's your day and you do that. But for me, the thing that I'm proudest of was the fact that I spent 9 years being undefeated. So for me, that was a career.
Sure.
And not just a one-off and a lucky thing. So that's the thing that I'm proudest of.
That's great. So neither of the Olympic golds or anything, it's just kind of all of it together.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, it's great to break a world record. And of course, it's great to be Olympic champion and all that. But when I look back, for me, the the biggest thing that I get pleasure from is just the fact that 9 years is a long time to be at the top of your game, particularly in sports, because it's so difficult. It changes so much, and people find new ways to train and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's longevity. Yes.
Awesome. Where do you keep your Olympic medals?
Strange. And people, yeah, people do think this is strange, but I gave them all away to my training partners.
Wow.
Because for me, once it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
And I don't need to kind of go over it again and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things I've been trying to do for the last year or so is to get the medals back for a little while, because I've got two boys, one 18 and one 23, and they've never seen my medals.
Oh, wow.
So it's probably time I got them back for a little while.
That's very cool. And one of your sons was a decathlete for a while. What was that like?
I think he still is.
Is he? Okay.
He was the UK champion a couple of years
very
ago.
Cool.
And it's really good. And actually it's really good, but it's really nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Because you want him to do really well, obviously, but you can't be shouting and screaming when he's running and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, it's great to see. I got 5 kids, and 4 of them are really interested in sports and in health and all that kind of stuff. So that's really good.
That's awesome that you can share that part with your kids. That's awesome. Now, the date that this airs, that will be your 67th birthday.
Yeah.
Now, looking back to your 27th birthday, what advice would you give 27-year-old Daley Thompson?
I think I would tell him that at 27, you don't have to be quite as intense as you needed to be as when you were 25. Because I was still taking it very seriously at 27.
Yeah.
And I could probably have been a little easier on myself.
Yeah. That's good. That's definitely good advice. And these days, what does your relationship look like with running, as well as any field events? If you're still participating in any of those, I don't know.
Oh my God, no! I've given all that up, and mostly I just kind of I go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. It's really only for health. I just do kind of easy exercises just to make sure that my knees are okay and my back's okay and all, because all I want to do these days is just be healthy. So I stick with functional stuff. I jog a little bit twice a week, but not at your level, only for 10 or 15 minutes, just to get the heart going. And I try and enjoy it a bit more, because I exercise with friends now and all that kind of stuff. So, I do it a little bit for health, and I think a lot to be social.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. And I think a lot of listeners as well, you go to these run clubs, and
yeah.
And so much of it is just about the conversation and the community. And so I love that's still part of your life. Do you attend any track meets? Have you been to any Olympics since competing?
Oh yes, I've been to nearly every single summer Olympics since the last one I competed in '88, either working for the media, TV or radio. So yeah, I'm always at, and in fact I'm in September off to Japan for the World Cup.
Wow. Oh, that'll be so cool.
Oh, it'll be fantastic. It'll be fantastic. And can I tell you something?
Yes.
Can I tell you? And the people that I admire the most are the guys who, like yourself, just go out and run for fun and run because they enjoy it, and they get out there in the wind and the rain, and they don't get anything for it. It's okay for guys like me who are earning a living and got fancy cars and all that kind of stuff. But I admire the fact that you guys get out there every day and you do it just for the pure enjoyment of it. And that was one of the things that I always tried to keep in mind was that this, whatever else is going on, this is and always should be fun and enjoyable.
I love that. That's yeah, and I could not agree more. Obviously, as one of those people
Yeah,
who who is not out there winning, but I am out there 6 days a week. I live in a very hot climate, so it's not always pleasant, but I do love it. And something I love is also hearing, people who have been the best athletes in the entire world having mindsets like that, because sometimes people lose perspective and
yeah,
so.
absolutely.
All right. Well, great. Last question for today. Anybody who is purely a runner right now, who is interested in getting into some of the multi-sport competitions, what advice would you give them?
I I would say if you're really going to be crazy enough to do that kind of thing, that you go and find a group, go and find a bunch of people to do it with. You'll have a good time. You'll learn more when you're being coached in a group and all that kind of stuff, and you'll stick at it for longer because you when you want to be part of a group, you feel encouraged all the time. So yeah, but otherwise, I stick to running personally.
That's my plan. That's
I mean,
definitely my plan.
it's so much easier. All you got to do is go out your front door.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you're going down to the track and you get all dirty with the discus and the shot put and all that, and then you get scared out of your wits when you got a pole vault. Don't do that. Stick to the running.
Yeah, I was a pole vaulter in high school. I cannot
Was you?
imagine. I was, yeah. I cannot imagine if I tried to do that now in my 30s. Like
Yeah.
I cannot even imagine I would get off the ground. So
Yeah. Right. Okay. So you're warning them as well. Good.
yeah, I definitely agree. But I didn't know if your perspective was any different there.
No.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. And I
Oh,
hope you have a great happy birthday.
oh, thank you very much. Listen, it has been fun. If you want to do this again next year, I'm around because I'm going to have at least a couple more birthdays.
Oh, definitely. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Wow, what a cool guy and such a fantastic outlook on both running and sports in general. That is all I have for you all today, but thank you so, so much to Daley Thompson for the interview, and I hope you are having a wonderful 67th birthday. Everyone else, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, etc. And then join me tomorrow to meet the woman who won the first ever Badwater Ultramarathon back before it was shortened to its current distance of 135 miles. I'm your host, Running Up That Hillary, and this has been Today in Running History. Francis Morgan, no, Iodale. Thompson originally wanted to play soccer, but was drawn to the individualistic. It's like once it has more syllables, then it's a challenge. Individualistic. Oh my God. The Essex beagles, like a dog, not a beetle. Like I know they're British, but like. Beagle. Okay. The cat. All right, and then here's where the interviewer will be. Hey, Daley, happy birthday. Oh, hey, Hillary, I'm so happy. Oh, I can't. No, he's birthday. Oh, I'm happy to be here. This is fun. It's my birthday. That really wasn't too bad.